Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to UK Urban Prepper. This is the Prepper News, or the open mic kind of show that we will go into shortly. Welcome preppers, patriots, people, all of you are welcome here. We're going to talk about stuff going on currently, potentially being on the precipice of something big. This is not fear-mongering, this is us analysing and hopefully getting you guys in to analyse as well. So I will put an invite out there shortly for people to be able to join. See loads of you in there. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I never asked that, but hopefully I'm just not rabbiting myself the last 10 minutes. The website's a bit posh, Mr. UKPN Fancy Pants. Thank you very much. It's good to have you all in here. Miss Worm, Evil Girl, and I'm not sure if my other moderators are in. Give us a wave if you are, but lots of green names. Less green names than you used to be, but still lots of green names. 5x5, thank you very much, Paul. Really do appreciate that. And Rift is in there as well, so my moderators are all in there to keep you in check. We let you have your opinion all day long. Just don't be nasty to anyone in the chat. And don't say anything that YouTube wouldn't like. So, Mike has a shirt on. Neighbours washing raiding. Thank you for the £2 super chat, Scottish Prepper. Thank you. And you also reminded me to put the banner across the bottom. Because it is one of those shows that YouTube doesn't like because we're talking about military stuff. But, first off, let's get it out of the way. The biggest news before all the war stuff and before all the doom and gloom is 4 days ahead of schedule, we have launched the UKPN website. Badoosh! And there it is right there. So basically the news pulling through is from RSS feeds, okay? So it's basic headlines, not going to take you into a full article, but it gives you an idea of what's going on in the world. We've currently got 3 people that are writing. So we will have written news as well. If you can hear that in the background, that's because I live in an urban area and that's a siren. But we'll have articles like this with the new series launch of Bad Preppers, where it's a full write-up. So there will be more comprehensive news on there as our writers start to get to grips with it. So it's a work in progress. We've got a lovely FAQ section here, which is what is prepping, our stories, who we are. This was written by our awesome head moderator, Miss Worm. So make sure you go and check all that out. The news is just filtering down what you see on the front page. We have our network map updated with some brighter, more clear colours, because I know you guys couldn't necessarily see right. I am working on a version where you can see the postcode names a bit better in the yellow. It's, you know, it's one of those things. It's one or the other. Can't win. But it tells you what zone you're in for when you join our Discord, which it says at the top there. Eventually, when our Discord server is boosted enough, we'll be able to get a permalink. You can't just buy one. If you could, I would have done. But once it's boosted enough by enough people, we can get a permanent link, and this will link straight through to it. We have resources, which links through to the new Prepper Guide. It links to different resources like this, for example, which is an awesome little resource, which is boreholes and wells. So you zoom right in, check out that. And this is wells not just that are there now, but have been there for years and stuff like that, and each one tells you. So the year 2017, that once that's more of a recent one, but you'll get them from 1800s. There you go, 1939, that one. So good source to find water. But yeah, there's all sorts of sources on there, and we will improve that as well. We've got obviously a link to all of our influencers at the moment that are part of the Fireside officially, so you can link through to them. As more people join that, we'll get more links on there. And then yeah, pretty much skills as well. This is not stuff, we will add skills of our own, but I'm just linking through to some really good resources on there, so everything in one place. Everyone needs to know how to tie knots. So that's pretty much it, and we'll constantly strive to improve it for you guys. It's all about making somewhere for the community, for a source for news, for a source of relevant news and stuff like that. All funded by your guys' generous donations, which you've already done, which has enabled this project to go ahead. So there you go. That's the big news for me. The rest is just, the usual rubbish. See what you're saying. I've missed all your comments during that spiel. Going by the sirens, Mike said door's about to be kicked in. No, not quite. Not quite. They're after you, Brian, for crimes against fashion. He's done worse things. How much the Discord boost for when I feel rich? I don't know. So I get the Discord Nitro as a personal user, which is like $8.99 a month, and that entitles me to 2 boosts. I think it's a $5 a boost usually, so it's like a deal. But I get that anyway because then I can upload bigger files. Yeah, you'll have to check that out. It's not so urgent, and as we get donations through the site as well, that'll pay for the hosting and everything like that, and I'll also put that into boosting it myself. So we've already had an awesome donation. Somebody's already clicked the donate button on the site, and it's only been live for like a couple of hours. So thank you, Richard G on PayPal, for your donation on there. It's good to know the button's working. Everyone's saying hello. Blah 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 blah. Good to see you, Guardian. Good to see you as well. Right. Okay. So let's get into the not so great side of things. So, should I share the pages as we go through, or should we just talk through? Well, we'll just talk through for now. I will get an invite out for people to come in and chat as we go through. But the reason I wanted to do this is you might notice some very popular North American preppers, individuals that have said, it's going nuclear, it's all happening now, I may as well quit YouTube and stuff like that. Yeah, usually I would be like, don't be sensationalist, but there's facts behind it, unfortunately. And this is all stems down to Donald Trump. So the Euronews reports Donald Trump nears decision on sending Tomahawk missiles. As of yesterday evening. So if he's made a decision and it's been announced, I don't know yet. Please put it in the chat. But yeah, giving them Tomahawk missiles. Now there's different rumours, like these are not going to be nuclear capable. Who do you believe with stuff like that? The point is the range on them. So the range on them means there's no safe zone left in most of Russia. And I think Trump's stipulation, he wants to know what Zelensky's going to do with them. But I mean, even whatever he says, it doesn't matter, right? So it's still that range. And I feel like it backs Russia and Putin into a corner. I very emphasized the P on Putin there, sorry. Yeah, I feel like it backs him into a corner. And the last thing you want to do is back a 73-year-old dictator with a big red button into a corner. Because unless he does live to 200 years old, like we heard on that weird discussion, he's, what's he got to lose? It's really scary. The way, if you're monitoring any of the aircraft, if you're monitoring any of the ships and stuff like that, the way chest pieces are moving, it's almost like they are slowly getting set up for a decapitation strike, which people might think is a good thing. However, if that doesn't come off 100% precision, and I'm not saying the Americans aren't capable of that, we know they are, most advanced military in the world, but if it doesn't, and dead hand is activated, we think it's active anyway, we can hear the signal coming over, then it's game over. It really is. Everything left will be in the air. And once it's in the air, once it's out the atmosphere and then coming back in, terminal velocity, it's like trying to shoot a bullet out of the air with another bullet. So we don't want that to happen, of course. I hope it all de-escalates, but this seems like a really massive move that could force the hand of somebody. And Putin has actually said himself, where is that gone? So I didn't want to put the video on, but the interview he had was There were issues raised such as discussions about supply of new weapon systems. This is Putin saying this to Ukraine, including long-range and high-precision systems like Tomahawks. I have already said that this will lead to the destruction of our relations, or at least the positive trends, and I've cut you off with the banner, have emerged in these relations. So he's basically saying that would be the end of the current dialogue and could be the end of that relationship between the two, which is scary. And Trump, like I say, has been quite evasive at the moment. We don't know what's happening. So he said, yeah, I've sort of made a decision, pretty much. If you consider it, yeah, I think I want to find out what they're doing with them. So I don't know if that means that's his stipulation for it, like what you're going to do with them. Okay, here you go. Obviously, Zelensky's not going to turn around and say, I'm going to try and muller every one of Putin's houses. He's going to say military targets and stuff like that. He's going to say what's wanted to hear. But once he has them, and they're using, the scary thing for us in the UK as well is it'll be NATO supplying the data to target these. Putin makes the same threat to every new weapon. Well, I know, but this is like increase the range massively. So Tomahawk is a nuclear capable platform. Russia will have to assume they're carrying warheads. So's the F-16 though, right? So this is what we've got to consider. It's why risk that? Why risk him? Oh, it's okay. He'll think they're not nuclear, or he'll believe us when we say it. Russia has an automatic response, the dead hand, yeah, I mentioned that. And the attack on Russia would lead to 100% nuclear response to rain down on the US and NATO. It is utter stupidity to poke the bear. Exactly. But they think they could do it indirectly and get away with it. So, I don't know. We shall see. This was the Euronews also reported Putin lied to Trump and made him look weak, says the former US envoy to Ukraine. So this is why, and he adds to that this is why it's possible that the US will send Tomahawks to Ukraine. That's Kurt Volker who said that. So it's just more and more iteration to say there's people that think that happened. I did find a report on Reuters, take that as what you will, saying, and a source says that they're not doing, but you know, unless you tell me himself, I don't believe anything until it happens. This is, here you go, let's share this one. So this is what we're talking about. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if I can zoom in. I can zoom in a bit. There we go. So this is the range when it comes to the Tomahawk. At least 1,945 known Russian military objects, including 76 air bases, are in range of Tomahawks, the 2,500 kilometer variant. At least 1,655 known Russian military objects, including 67 air bases, are within range of Tomahawks, the 1,600 kilometer variant. So you can see there the difference. The 1,600 covers all the way to here, and then this is the 2,500 all the way up here, right up to these air bases up the top there. So you're not feeling as safe. So the current ATACMS 300 kilometer variant only reaches here. So that's currently what we're hitting, what Ukraine are hitting, and this is what could happen. And it's obviously showing some of the key targets in that as well. So it's worrying if you're Mr. Putin. So yeah, interesting, that one. So a Russian senator has plotted out 23 locations in the UK that could be destroyed, sparking fresh World War III fears. This was in the Mirror. The article itself was about what you should stock. It was on our Discord, what you should get for World War III, and basically the answer was duct tape. All right, tape up the gaps for the fallout. And that was pretty much the answer. I've just seen there that Guardian Prepping has become a new member. Awesome. Thank you very much, Guardian Prepper. And thank you very much, Anthony Parkinson. Thought you were already a member. Must have lapsed. There you go. Thank you very much. And New City Prepper, thank you for the $4.99 super sticker. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate it. I'm going to put the link out now for joining me to discuss all of this. If you join straight away, you'll be in the green room down below. Don't worry, I will add you in when the time is ready. Let's have a look at our news then, how this relates to the UK and other stuff that's going on in the UK at the moment. Oh, let's just pop the entire screen on. That's going to be easier. Dangerous, but easier. There we go. Right. So, the BBC, that wonderful, trusted, completely non-biased, not government-run at all source, says Russia targets UK military satellites on a weekly basis. Russia's satellites have been stalking British military satellites, according to the head of the UK Space Command. And this is as of the 3rd of October. He said Russia had also been trying to jam the UK's military satellites with ground-based systems every week. Now, this could be them trying to counter any potential targeting that they might use for the Tomahawk systems. So, yeah, that's that. If we're directly involved with stuff like that, it might not be good for any of us. And a week ago, I think, it's the Guardian reported that Britain may already be at war with Russia, former head of MI5 says. And a lot of people do believe it. We've had these sabotage cases going on around the UK, mysterious cyber attacks, warehouse fires, stuff like that. And that could be the prelude to something larger. And, okay, ready, everyone? Try not to fall off the chair. Try not to unsubscribe. Starmer said something right. Okay? I know, shocking, I know. Keir Starmer calls for student protests on the 7th of October, which is today, not to go ahead, basically. Told them not to. It's very un-British, which I thought is probably the most patriotic thing I've heard the man say. Of course, nobody paid any attention, and if anybody like me follows along to the awesome news channel 2CTV, they'll have seen that this was happening during the day today, and I'm sure probably is getting worse into the night. So worth keeping an eye on that and other sources. But yeah, they don't care. They are literally out celebrating the 7th of October attacks. Whichever way you look at this, that's wrong. They had no respect in Manchester. They still did a protest on the day that 2 people were killed at the synagogue down the road from me. Zero respect. And Gaza has a peace deal on the table. What are you protesting? You don't know. You're just a bunch of crazy anti-Semites, leftists. I said it. Sorry. But yeah, Starmer said something good. Nothing came of it because nobody listens to him anyway. But yeah, and you could see by a simple Google search, don't trust me, trust yourself. This is a Google search based on the last week alone, how much the mainstream media is starting to get on this. And usually when we start seeing more hints of them, then maybe we should add a few more cans to our preps. The Mirror, the Scottish Sun, former Scots defence chief, says people should stock up. Safest areas in the UK during World War III, Russian offensive campaign. It's just endless. And this is only in the last week. And that's page 1 of at least 10 across the bottom. So you don't have to be a genius to see something is going on. Sorry, I'll get back to the comments. Wowza. Look at that. Angela McCaw, thank you very much. That's absolutely awesome. That's amazing. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate that donation. Yeah, blown away. Thank you very much, Angela. So appreciated. Can't say thank you any more times. Manda Dukes became a new member. Thank you very much. Sam Lloyd became a new member. Thank you very much. And Rect Paratus. I felt like I was going to say that wrong and it was going to sound rude, but you became a new member. Thank you very much. Last two things we'll look at before we bring our guests that are patiently waiting in their respective bunkers is the biggest indicator for all of this stuff going on, and what a lot of channels point to straight away is the gold. And usually, if you look anywhere in the middle of that graph, this is a 1 year graph, by the way. If you look anywhere in the middle of that graph, you have spikes and drops. And the sensationalist channels, every one of these spikes would have been like, oh my God, it's happening now. Look at God. And it drops back down. All right. And we've had it all year long. But there's a definite increase here that we cannot deny. We were saying when it was at 2000 that, you know, when it was coming up to past 2000, that it was a dangerous time. We're nearly at the 3000 mark, £2,966 and 23 pence. $4,000 the gold is at, which is insane. And it's usually a key indicator for things like this. And the silver is following right along. Still slightly affordable. Don't think, oh, I'm not going to buy it now. It's its highest ever. I bet people thought that on this spike, on this spike, on this spike. It's still worth investing, in my opinion. I have no affiliation with Bullion by Post. It was just the best looking graph that came up. But yeah, true indicators for potential something there.